Hi guys, how's it going? Ivano here, and as promised, some operative gameplay today with a little commentary. Going to explain some things about how to play heal and how to play operative in general. So the first thing, of course, you want to do is I have HOTS on my whole team before the fight even begins. This is something I talked about in the guide. It's very important. Operative is a proactive healer. You need to make sure your whole team has the call to probes. Secondly, you can see I'm staying in the back, trying to stay kind of in the middle of my team here, so I can get some AoE heals on everyone. But priority number one is I keep my HOTS up. By the way, if you HOT your whole team before the match, it also increases the chances that, if you have a tank, you will get a guard. And because I healed my team is, pretty healthy. No one died yet. We managed to push the enemy back here and take control of mid. Now in a few seconds you will see my team makes a mistake. I'm just staying in the back, really not exposing myself to any danger. That's important. My team chases them, we're pushing them back, which in general is good. But in a few seconds you will see we go too far. We're still keeping our HOTS up. We're seeing this Juggernaut, he's dropping very low and he jumps away from us. He is barely still in range. So mistakes happened exactly here at this point. We're chasing too far, the enemy is respawning, which means they will be outnumbered here. One of our guys already died fighting these 3 sorcerers in the back there, and we are under fire from their ranges from up here. So instead what our team should be doing is, fighting together. Either we're gonna all move this way and try to fight there, but it's actually not a good idea in this situation because we are outnumbered. So instead we should be kiting back, trying to, get some reinforcements. Or plan B would be, that all of us kind of attack the sorcerer up here. But again, this Juggernaut over there, we're not going to roll over there and try to help him. Even though he's a tank, he's not going to survive 1v3 versus the sorcerers. And, at this point, we should already be running. This is already kind of a mistake. We're slowed. Because, as you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies. Another one at the pylon. We are standing here. Yes, we still have enough HP. But this commando is about to die. And what is the next thing that happens once the enemies we'll be done with our commando, we cannot help this guy. Of course, once he dies, they will turn and try to hit either us or our other commando friend here. And in this situation, we get tunneled, we get the 70% slow from the commando, we get netted, we have to break and roll away, and we're very sad. We are in a 2 versus 6 because our team overextended, didn't use any death cooldowns and died. So we have to vanish out. This is a little spot you can sometimes use as a healer because people will, not really see you. Sometimes they just kind of forget that you're there, get your HOTS, and, we're back. And now our team is respawning. This guy will probably die. Not sure we can save him. We're trying to, but this is ideally not what you want to do. He runs around the corner, LOSs us, even though he was not taking any damage anymore. And now we're really just trying to recover. At this point, we want to get HOTS in everyone. So the game plan is the same again. Try not to die. Of course, we don't have Breaker and Vanish now, so the next time we get targeted, we might die. So here we're really just following the game plan. Priority number 1 of Operative Healer. Make sure everyone has HOTS. Even if this commando is dying, he has his cooldowns, so he has to use them. I don't care. We should be focusing on keeping the HOTS up, and you can see here in the ops frame, that's exactly what I'm doing. HOT, 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 and then AoE heals. Very important. Now in a situation like this, right, it doesn't really look good. There's like 6 enemies here. Priority 1, keep the HOTS up and don't die. We focus on AoE heal. Very soon we have Toxic Haze coming up again. Should be using it. And at the same time we're kiting back. This is really important, right? So if we go back one more time, a couple of seconds, we were in this situation here, right? There's no reason to run to the left because that's basically the zone that is owned by the enemies. There's no reason to run this way because there's a commando already casting. The best thing to do here in a situation that looks kind of bleak, we still have 6 teammates alive. This is kind of an ideal situation for, keeping our HOTS up. Our HOTS can tick on almost all of them, but we should be trying to kite out because otherwise, we might get stunned by the Juggernaut, might get focused by, these couple of DPS here. And since we don't have Breaker and Vanish, this is a situation where you need to hightail it and get out of the Zerg. So this is exactly what we do. Fast forward to where we just stopped. And you can see, because we keep the HOTS up on all of them, our team manages to survive. The other commando uses this Reflect, which is exactly what they're supposed to do. And now the enemy makes a mistake. They are isolated, they are overextending, their healers are not following because they're still busy playing objectives or something. We managed to keep our team alive. and focus down the enemy melee. And this is exactly how you want to play. Standing in the middle here so I can get some AoE heal as well. But priority 1 is to keep my HOTS up. You can see here the HOTS are highlighted. That's something I forgot to mention in the guide. But of course you want to have your own buffs highlighted here in the target frame so you can, see easier where your HOTS are at. 2 stacks, everyone has HOTS. And like this we manage to push back the enemy and eventually take over mid again. Alright, game number 2, we're going to talk about a little bit, about positioning here, and again the same thing, keeping your HOTS up. So we're staying in the back again, we don't want any, any action fighting with these melees here. You can see like one of my teammates is getting pretty low. It's again this Story Max Shadow guy. I was trying to heal him all day long, for some reason he was very squishy. But his stealth is out, which is good. I get my HOTS up, make sure that everyone else has the HOTS as well. I of course have 2 HOTS on me as well. And the important thing here is, first of all, right, this is what I was talking about. I'm staying in the back. Here actually I make a little mistake. I tried to save this guy, right, because I can see in the ops frame he's dropping low and he was out of range. So I use one roll just to close the gap. This is not that great, and you will see in a second why it would have been better if I stayed in the back. But Thorimax survives, and again he runs out of range. I roll in to help him, and now this Concealment Operative takes half my life with 3 buttons, which is suboptimal. But luckily my mercenary here helps me, gives me some fire cover. So I managed to simply run away. In general, this was a war zone where, not many people were targeting me, which is nice when it happens. So I can really just focus on staying in the back, having HOTS on everyone. But you can see the mistake I made that cost me half my health bar was trying to chase after this shadow here, right? And this is important that you don't do that, right? Just let the shadow die. If he has vanish, he can vanish, or 4 speed away or something. You really need to make sure you have HOTS on everyone, because look, otherwise maybe this commando would have died now. So don't chase, again, you can see Thorimax again, he's like always at 10%, I don't know what he's doing. But I'm not chasing after him. If he wants heal, he can come to me. I'm just staying here, I'm trying to stay safe. And no one can really hit me. And that's the first priority as a healer. You need to stay safe, don't take free damage, don't make it easy for the enemy to engage on you. If they want to engage on me, you can see they need to roll to me. The sniper can hit me because snipers are broken, they have like 40 meters range. Now I'm getting closer to the pillar, probably should have been there in the first place. Eat a diversion from the sniper, so I'm moving back out here in the open. I don't really want to stand right next to my sniper, I might catch some AoE damage or something. And then just doing the same thing, 2 stacks of HOTS on everyone. And here actually, I'm not sure if you saw that. So you can see what happened here. I make a little mistake, my positioning is not great. A better position would be maybe right next here, like right next to this pylon. That would have been better. I'm trying to heal this guy, but there is no reason that I'm in 11 meter range. I think I was probably trying to heal like one of the Thorimax guy, for example. But because I'm a little bit too close to these guys here, this tank could simply walk over and stun me. This is not really that great positioning. But then in a second, I can't really explain it, but I was kind of expecting this operative to go on me. So as you can see, the operative comes here from behind the corner. Somehow I knew he was gonna holo traverse to me. So I turn my camera and try to escape to a better position. Right here. He steps to me, I get rooted and I lag back. My second roll gets cancelled because he used his crippling slice on me, really annoying. But the important thing is, because the operative was right here, you can see him like kind of ducking behind the corner. Because he has to use his holo traverse to close the gap, means that I can use my holo traverse to escape, right? And that's the point I wanted to make in this video. Positioning is important because he has to use his gap closer to come to me right now. I can roll. He can roll as well, right? Like I bug out a little bit. But now I still have my holo traverse. So I can, holo traverse to this guy or to this guy. I break the root, I get away, and he cannot follow because he had to use his gap closer to catch up to me. And now the operative is down there. I escape to a safe position. So that's important, threat assessment. You always want to see who can kill me, how are they going to gap close, am I making it easy for them, or, you should be making it hard, of course, and try to stay in a safe position. And now finally the third clip. This is a little bit a different game, because here we're playing against the passive-aggressive premade. You know, they're running, you know, I think it was a Marauder, a Sorcerer, Sorcerer Heal, Sorcerer DPS, and the fourth one I think was a Vanguard tank. So they have a full premade. I expect to get absolutely blasted in this game, and you can see I didn't even want to jump down. But luckily it turns out we had a tank in this game and I get a guard, which is super nice. And you know, that's really the luxury that you want as a healer. If you can get a tank like in this game, then it's perfect, and it allows you to, you know, play a little bit more offensively, right? Because normally I would be somewhere running here behind a pillar and trying to survive. But in this game, because I have a tank who gives me the guard, and we also have a second healer, I can actually face tank a lot of the damage because they cannot kill me through guard. So you can see I'm just clicking through the ops frame. I'm trying to stay in the middle of the map because, again, with guard, they cannot really kill me. And what I'm doing is just trying to maximize my HPS. And by being in the center of the map, it's easier to, you know, be in the 30-meter range of everyone. So when you don't have a guard, you want to maximize your own safety and stay somewhere close to the pillar. But if you do have a guard and they cannot really burst you, it can be good to position in the middle of them, because, you know, then this overextending DPS cannot jump out of range that easily. Yeah. Nevertheless, make sure you always use your shield probe for your heal. Keep up the HOTS. You can see my tank, this good mouse guy, always has 2 stacks of the HOTS. Another thing that you need to do is you need to really prioritize, you know, sometimes who to heal. For example, I know Myran is a good DPS player. I make sure he always has his HOTS. But yeah, in a game like this, if you're playing versus a premade that know what they're doing, and you're in Defender round in Voidstar, eventually people are going to die. Looks like my second healer is dying, and my tank is jumping out of range. You can see my tank over here. I have him in focus target, which is why he has this little green area under his feet and this little icon above his character there. So I can see him a bit better. But this guy was jumping around a lot, and yeah, as I said in my guide, the guard buff actually only works if you're within 15 meters of the one who guards you, right? So you gotta make sure that you know where your tank is, because sometimes, you know, they will jump out of range to chase a kill or something like this. Shouldn't happen. The tank should look where the healer is, but, you know, happens to all of us. So my tank dies, unfortunately. I vanish out here in a second, but I think the rest of the defender round was not that interesting. So we skip to the attacker round and just talk about, I think, a little bit more of the same things. But of course, attacker on Voidstar is much nicer, especially as a heal, you know, because you have an instant respawn. The enemy doesn't. They have like a long respawn, which means that, you know, if you get some kills, you can get the upper hand and pretty much the whole time have the pressure. So there's not too much more I think I wanted to cover in this round, because the rest of the game is just kind of showing off everything that I talked about in the guide, which is, again, you can see me clicking through the ops frame, hot, hot, hot. Always nice to, you know, if you get the chance to do that in a row. So starting from the top left to the bottom right. That's, you know, in a perfect world, you can keep your HOTS in 8 people. In a real game, it's not that realistic, because you can see Shock the Dog is out of range. So my HOTS will drop on him. You will never be able to keep HOTS on 8 people realistically for the whole map. Or for the whole game, rather. But, you know, what you can try is at least keep the HOTS on you at all times. I think I'm doing at least a decent job of that. Make sure that your tank always has the HOTS, so that's the good mouse guy. I think actually we had a second shadow tank, but I'm not really sure what he was doing. Definitely not guarding me. And then the third priority is you gotta make sure that you keep your HOTS and focus your heals on good DPS players, right? So here's Snappy San, he's dying. It's unfortunate, but it's simply the fact that, you know, I cannot save everyone. So I prioritize players like Myran, for example, because I know he's a good DPS, and maybe Snappy San, I've never seen him before, so I don't know if he's, you know, a pro gunslinger or he plays it for the first time. And that's really it. I think I'll just let the rest of the game run, so we can enjoy some nice heals. I think I wasn't taking too much damage this game, but yeah, it's always nice if you manage to go a whole war zone without dying once. For sure, having a guard in this one helped a lot. But yeah, as I said, if you have a guard, it lets you do a lot of things. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of the gameplay. And if this little commentary helped you, maybe understand healing a little bit better, then make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.